Hello everyone, this is video number 8 of 10 in my ESL Teaching Strategies series. Today we're discussing assessments, a tool not just for tracking progress, but for shaping effective lessons. Assessments, yes. These are a strategy, not just a way of gauging your students' progress or giving the parent a way to justify lessons. We'll go over what assessments are, why they're important, and how to conduct them effectively. If you are just joining me on this topic, I want to make sure that you know that this is part of a series of ESL teaching strategies meant to address the most pressing issues ESL teachers face. I'll leave a link to the 10 video playlist in the description below so that you can watch them all and get the full training. I hope these tips have been beneficial to you. Also, if you have any advice, tips, or thoughts on the topic, please leave a comment below for the community to learn from. This is a community where we can share and learn from each other. All right, what is an assessment? Well, an assessment evaluates what students have mastered and where they need support. It tests unit objectives, pronunciation, sentence structure, and grammar. Some curricula, like Teachers Together English, incorporate review lessons specifically designed for this. An assessment is an opportunity to see what your student has mastered and where they might need extra support or practice. In the Teachers Together English curriculum, the assessments or the review lessons are typically the 5th and 10th lessons in each unit. In Level 1, Units 1 through 4, the review and assessment are typically in the lessons 9 and 10 to avoid disrupting the flow that very young learners have until some basic information can be taught. But as the curriculum evolves and gets updated, the assessments may change, especially as more lessons are converted to this interactive format. All right, so what does an assessment involve? Simply stated, it tests what the students know. It assesses the objectives of that unit or what they've already learned, including pronunciation, use of complete sentences, and grammar. If you're teaching with a company, they'll probably have a rubric for scoring. As a private teacher, you'll need to be consistent in teaching these elements and pay close attention to them in regular lessons. I have no problem having a student retake the same lesson if I feel that they didn't grasp everything from the first time. The second time around, I would teach it slightly different to keep it engaging, treating it more like an extension lesson. But for more on that, refer to video number 7 in this series about extensions. Why do we do assessments? Well, assessments provide clarity for teachers, students, and parents. They identify gaps in knowledge and inform next steps in learning. Treat assessments as celebrations of progress rather than stressful tests. Assessments allow the students, the learning team really, which might include the teacher, parent, and student in private tutoring, or the parent, teacher, and company or learning partner in a company setting, to work with the students to help them master each learning objective. They identify any gaps in knowledge and provide proof of where the student has mastered the objectives. For example, if Susie struggles with remembering to use the past tense instead of moving on to the next lesson, you might decide to focus on grammar for a few lessons before resuming the normal topics or vocabulary. This approach allows private tutors to tailor lessons to the student's needs, unlike the fixed progression often required by companies. Say, as a private tutor, I can just stop. I don't have to move on to the next lesson. If the student didn't get it, we can retake. We can move on to something else. Oh, we need to work on your past tense. Here's a past tense lesson. We'll just do this right now. We're going to reinforce that really quick. Okay, we got that. Let's move on to the next lesson in the series that we were working on. That type of thing. So, how do I conduct assessments? Well, review objectives. Make sure assessments align with unit goals. Prepare students by sharing the vocabulary and objectives ahead of time. I like to do it at the end of the previous class when I'm sending the feedback. Send my normal feedback, and I say, next week's an assessment. This is the main vocabulary being covered. This is the main grammar, that type of thing. Use rewards. Keep assessments fun and motivational. Reward effort and celebrate successes. Adapt based on results. See, if gaps are found, use the next few lessons to address them. For example, review grammar and or vocabulary as needed. You don't have to follow a curriculum to its T. You can supplement it as you need. I like to go sometimes, if I find that a student needs it, I'll go on to Canva the day before the lesson or the week before after the last lesson, and when I have some time, I'll put together something quickly on the vocabulary so we can have a quick review before getting back into the next lesson. I previously mentioned which lessons in Teachers Together English are reviews, but it's important to make these lessons a celebration of what the student has learned. Treat assessments as a fun, enjoyable opportunity for students to showcase their knowledge. Some students, the word test, it just might cause stress. So frame it as a review and a celebration of their progress. Alert them beforehand, send that vocabulary list so that they know what will be covered, so that they can review. Use reward systems to make it more fun. As you're doing the assessment, stop periodically. You did great on that section. Let's move on to fill in the blanks now. You did great on the fill in the blanks. All right. You know what? Let's play a game of tic-tac-toe. All right, let's go on to the next section. That type of thing. From a teacher's point of view, assessments are great because they require minimal prep work. You don't have to teach new content. Just assess and see if they understand it. Then decide how to move forward. If you finish early, review any content that they struggled with. Assessments also provide a great opportunity to ask open-ended questions, helping you extend the lesson and further assess the student's understanding. Now let's take a second to look at an assessment in Teachers Together English to give you an idea of how these work. All right, so we have a lesson from Teachers Together English here. And we have a really cool section right here that comes in handy where you put in the student's name. And you can put in your name as well as the teacher, age of the student, boy or girl. And that comes handy because when you have your welcome screen right here, the character turns whether it's a boy or a girl. It helps to personalize your lesson to your students, making them feel like this is not just a cookie cutter lesson, but it's something that's made for them. Now, you have your soon I will, the outcomes that you're looking to get here out of this assessment. Your KWL chart, what I know, what I wonder, what I learned. Spend a little time with your student here. But then you get into the real part of it here, where you can actually ask questions that are going to be calculated. So these are true about myths. So are they closely related to religion? Tell stories about people based on real. So I'm going to say, well, let's just say, let's see what happens. Aha, there's two possible answers on this one. Now I can move forward. What's helpful is when I get through all this, I can click on a button here on the top. Results. One incorrect, 6%. You can download the results to send it in. So again, keep clicking through. This one you'd have to kind of assess on your own. It doesn't automatically calculate on all of them yet, but vocabulary, you can help to figure out what does pretend mean. I'm just clicking to get through so that we can look at what an assessment looks like that has these questions and answers on it. So what does fake mean? All right, something that is not real. There we go. Keep clicking next after you're done. And if you skip a question, that's fine too. It just marks it as incorrect. So I'm just going to move forward here. All right, here we go. On this one here, you can see, did they get it right or did they get it wrong? You can have some hints. There's a word bank that'll pop up. So now they have words that they can use with it. There's also hints right here, so they can figure out, did they get it right? Did they get it wrong? When they get it right, or you could do another hint here. Yes, they got it all right. Great job. And we can keep moving forward through the lesson. All right, and this one is a sort. You figure out, oh, what type of a monster? What is this? Half human, half sea creature. Ah, mermaid, right? I think. Scottish water monster, that would be Loch Ness monster. Half female bird. All right, so we kind of move them into the right order. Send it through. Yay, we got it right. So again, and celebrate their successes. Take a second out. Give them a high five. Do a little game. You can draw on the screen. All right. So again, a couple crosswords. Everything can be calculated up. And let's see our score so far. 6 out of 16. So again, we're checking their understanding, their knowledge based on all these things. And that's kind of the flow of it. We have a reading section. So you can assess their comprehension skills. Now remember, like I said, when reading, pause. After they've read this, stop and say, oh, well, what happened when the zombies approached the Pegasus? And they can scan the text or maybe just remember it right away. All right. So we can skip through the story. Discussion questions on the story. Very good. Here's click for the answers. Did they get it right? Yes or no? All right. Some grammar practice. How do they fix this? The fragmented sentence. Again, another grammar practice. Send it in when you're done. So again, all of these are just designed to go through, give an idea of what the student knows. Write your own simple sentences using the vocabulary from this, so they can write it and you assess it. Gives you an idea of where they are. And then after you're done with your lesson, you can send the feedback to the parent and everything along those lines. So again, yeah, word searches as well. Oh, look at that. We have vampire. Now that we found it, we can highlight it. Very good. All right, and at the end, you always have some fun free talk. Give yourself some time to extend. Check the scores. You can download the results and send it to them, and so on and so forth. And remember how we typed in their name earlier? Well, it all pops up and populates here. You can write your comments in. Again, screenshot and send this to the parent. Give them all their stars or whatever they need. Write in the different areas. So there we go. And again, another fun extension, like I said, tic-tac-toe, but with the vocabulary. So remembering these words and making it educational as well as fun. All right. So there you go. That's what a typical assessment can look like using this Teachers Together English as a private teacher. Other companies have different styles of lessons, and you will get used to those as you go along as well. A lot of times they have a scoring meter on the side and some notes on the side as well to send your feedback in. All right. Well, thanks for joining me in this video. I hope you find the other videos in this series helpful as well. Remember to comment below and let me know what you think of assessments as a strategy for teaching. What do you do if you finish early? I'd love to hear from you. Your task after watching this video is to plan an assessment that's both effective and enjoyable. Share how you celebrated your students' progress in the comments. And don't forget to check out the next video in this series, video number 9, which is about pacing, ensuring lessons are smooth and finish right on time. Don't miss it.